Hi, folks. It's Wolf here. I just wanted to throw my 2 cents into the whole um, gun control arena. Um, I've heard arguments from both sides regarding what people believe is a proper balance, or, I mean, some of them were really unreasonable, others are, you know, I, I guess the way I look at it is this: when it comes down to it, we all. Here's the thing, okay? There's arguments on both sides that I agree with. I mean, and from some pretty weird places too. I have to admit. I mean, on some levels, I agree with some of the things like what Ted Nugent says or whatever else. I mean, some things. And then on the other side, with people who are arguing against guns, I think that there are points that they make are really really solid. And honestly, I mean, we really need to come together in the middle. I gotta tell you, I'm not a, I'm not against guns. I actually believe in them. I think that guns are the great equalizer when it comes to protecting yourself against somebody who might be stronger than you, or groups of people at a time or whatever. I mean, you know, the reason why it was put into the Constitution was so that we would always have the ability to obtain protection if we needed to, not just from the random freaking criminal on the street, but also against our own government. And that's just the reality. I mean, governments do get out of hand. People, circumvent and subvert governments for their own ends. I mean, we're in a capitalist democracy here, and we already have subversion going on with regard to corporations who have all of the monetary power, manipulating the system to their own ends, and making things really difficult for most people. And so, I mean, imagine if they had a security force that was larger than the army. Imagine that they had. I mean, it's not all paranoid thinking. I mean, the possibilities are there, and our right to bear arms are really there for our own protection. You know, and a lot of people make fun of that. I mean, Jon Stewart does that. He jokes around a lot about people being paranoid and crap about the government trying to take him out, or you know what I mean, or roving bands of rapists and all this other kind of crap. And he's a funny guy. I like watching him. But at the end of the day, the reality is the rights are there for a reason. That being said, I don't agree with just anybody being able to get a gun. I mean, um, I think that if you're a healthy minded person, um, and of course that's all subjective, that even that statement doesn't really have any quantifiable, measurable or whatever. I mean, well, to a degree. I mean, you can get a group of people together and decide, okay, this is healthy and this isn't healthy, but then that group really has the ultimate power, so it's a very dangerous game. But what I mean by just anybody, I mean, like, if you're a person who's sick and twitching, and I mean, and don't think I'm insensitive, man. I've had my own bout with depression and stuff like that, so I know what it's like to have your way of thinking skewed, you know. But um, when it comes down to it, it's if you're in danger of hurting yourself or others, you should not be allowed to easily get a firearm. I think background checks before weapons purchase is something that should be done. Um, but that being said, I'm a little concerned about there being databases about people's personal business, and their reasons for twitching and all that kind of crap. I don't think that should be publicly available. Maybe like a double blind system or something where a flag can be triggered red or green or whatever, and if a person has a green flag, they can purchase a gun, and if they have a red flag, then you don't need to know the details. You just need to know this person should not have a weapon, and that sort of thing would be good, you know. But when it comes to both sides are crazy. I mean, anybody who believes in anything with any real passion eventually heads down the path of crazy and dances with it a little while, because you become so mired in one way of thinking, so um, familiar with one perspective, that it almost becomes like mental incest. I mean, you know, dogmatic belief in my particular view, and I let no other ideas in, and boom, and you shut it out, and I don't listen to anybody, and know what that is. It's that, like I said, it's incest. I mean, it's your thoughts making out with your own thoughts and producing unhealthy children. You know what I mean? You need a variety of ideas from a wide variety of sources in order to have a healthy mind. It's just how it is. You need exposure to people who don't agree with you, people who have different ways of thinking, and it's one of the strengths of the United States. Um, is our ability to come together from all different walks of life, different perspectives, different avenues of thought. Which, I mean, even DNA is smart enough to know that that's something that's powerful. Genetic diversity, thought diversity, all those things offer strength and robustness in the face of unpredictable circumstances. So, you know, stop making love with your own ideas. Open your mind up a little bit to what other people have to say about things, because each one of us is like, this, uniquely positioned bio recorder. I mean, our software represents our, is full of our own experiences, our own take on life, filtered through our experiences. And so each perspective is unique and valuable because it offers another point of view. And it allows us to see things from that perspective. I mean, there's value, I think, in a lot of different perspectives. Now, the thing is that, if you get into a group of people who all agree with each other, all of a sudden they seem to think that just because they have numbers, that automatically means that they're right about their perspective, and that's not the case. I mean, the consensus was at one point that the world was flat, and that was the greatest minds on the planet. And we know that that's not true. I mean, there was the consensus was that Copernicus and Galileo, they were all freaking nuts when they came out with their perspectives on the way the universe worked and everything else. I mean, it's we get comfortable with our perspective of reality. And the instant that anybody shakes that up or challenges that, sometimes it can cause us to be afraid or uncomfortable. And so we react in defense of that reality. And I'm here to tell you, you don't have to be afraid of stepping outside what you perceive to be your reality. We receive billions of signals per second. Billions and billions and billions of signals per second, but we only process thousands. That means there's all kinds of reality that you're not really conscious of. So, I mean, is it possible that in some piece that you're not paying attention to, you might be losing some pretty critical information pertinent to the circumstances that might actually benefit you, not necessarily your rival? I don't know. Keep an open mind, The whole, I ran off on a tangent about that whole thing, but at the end of the day, really what you want to do is, with this whole gun thing, I think we need background checks. We need gun control in terms of making sure that a person who's mentally unstable doesn't get access to them, and that we make it as difficult as possible for the illegal transfer of guns, so that some random kid in some freaking hood in the middle of nowhere or something doesn't start shooting up people, and then freaking some freaking weird guy in a basement doesn't get access to a freaking gun and decide to start shooting up some kids. I mean, I don't even understand that. I'm not even going to begin to start talking about that. How do you look at kids and see somebody that needs to be shot? I guess that's the reason why he is where he is, but anyway, I guess I've been talking long enough. I suppose I should wrap this up. But in any case, I know I haven't done any real commentaries for you guys, and I'm kind of fresh at this. It's a little kind of outside my comfort zone, but I'm gonna try to do this more often. I think I have a valuable and unique perspective to contribute, just like every one of you did. Just like every one of you, and I hope to do a hell of a lot more of these, and hope that in some way it helps you, and that you can take something away that's valuable. But until next time, folks, this is Swolf, and yeah, love yourself and love each other, bro.